All right, today we are live with such an exciting guest and such an exciting topic today as well that I'm very excited to get into. We are on SEO leadership, and on this week we have Paulo. He is a lead tech SEO manager and also host of the SEO game show. Paulo, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you keeping?
Good. Thanks. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you so much for coming on bright and early. Paulo, it is 8 a.m. by his side, so very impressive early start to the morning. And yeah, Paulo, I think for everyone listening in, if you could tell us a little bit about how you got into SEO and how you got to where you are now within your role and your career progression, as well as tell us a little bit about the SEO game show as well. Would love to hear a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been working with SEO for 15 years, so I'll try to keep it quick. Um, so I'll jump a few
Yeah.
steps. But I started with HTML and CSS for email marketing because I needed to do something for university to get those extra hours. And then one job led to the other. First, I was working for free just to learn. And then one client of this agency was interested in having someone to take care of their e-commerce. And then one day they asked why we're not appearing on Google. And I started searching about SEO. Uh, there was nothing in Portuguese really back then, so I had to learn everything using international resources like, I don't know, Whiteboard Friday from Rand Fishkin and things like that.
Wow. Yeah.
And uh, then the career kept progressing. I moved from the south of Brazil to São Paulo, and then from São Paulo I started my own consultancy gig, and then I moved to the country state again because I couldn't bear living in São Paulo, and then I moved to Canada, started working at MindGeek and then ALDO shoes. After that, I moved to Germany, and now I'm back in Canada. So that's a summary of everything.
Wow. And you can you tell us a little bit about the how you found your career progression during working with such big brands like MindGeek, and Aldo, up to where you are now? What was the dynamic like, the team's dynamic, and how did that sort of help you boost your own career experience?
That's a great question because when you're working just for one small client, that's how I did in the beginning. You
Mm,
have to be responsible for more things, and you have to go to each and every detail, each every title, each and every description.
mm,
And when you're working in a bigger website, you start working with templates, you start working with page types. And if one page lost traffic and it's not changing anything in the business, it's not moving the needle, or if it
mm,
got a lot of new traffic, we don't even look at it as an individual page anymore. You start looking at page types and also the people that you work with. Sometimes when you're starting, you're responsible for wearing a lot of hats, and
mm, mm.
after that career progression, you start seeing that you have more people to ask questions, also to share your knowledge, your insights, and everyone grows together. So that's the only thing that I missed when I was doing freelancing, is that you're by yourself, and when you're
Mm.
working with a team of people, you have a lot of knowledge to get and to share.
Awesome. Did you what was your experience of working cross departmentally within the big companies? Not to, I guess, call anyone out, but just more to ask your experience within that aspect of things, especially within big companies. I think on our webinar guests, a lot of them speak about how they're trying to make active efforts to sort of break down those silos and improve communication interdepartmentally. What was your experience like? And I guess, do you have any ways that you could suggest, like improving it, or any ideas that you maybe have approached or would like to approach at some point, or advice to others?
Yeah, talking with other departments, I always try to give more than I'm asking, because if you start by giving something, then it's not that people feel guilty, but they feel the need to give something back. So whenever I join a new company, I start sharing what's SEO, what it can be helpful, how it can be helpful, how it can help your department. So let's say I always need help from front end, right? So I always go to the front end team and I give a little session, a little class or whatever you want to call it. And then in the future, whenever I'm asking for something, I say, hey, remember that in our presentation, we talked about H1. Now it's time to implement H1 in our website, blah, blah, blah. So I try to always start these conversations by giving something and then asking for something in return in the future. Not just because I'm going to ask for something, but also because it helps you to establish yourself as an authority in the company, especially if you're one person department or if you are a leader in that department. It shows that you know what you're talking about, you will have the experience. And we live in this bubble that we think everyone knows a little bit of SEO, but sometimes they have no idea. So just the basics is already a lot for them. And then when you share that you need something done, they just trust you. So it also helps with your personal branding inside the company.
I love that. We had a guest on SEO, our other podcast, Diary of an SEO, with Eli Schwartz. He's a growth advisor. And he also offered something similar in the sense of, just giving as much and over communicating and, sort of getting that in return at a later point. So, yeah, that's a very important takeaway. Robin, did you have a question?
Yeah, so you mentioned that you've got 15 years of SEO experience, which is a lot. And I'm sure throughout those years, you've gotten exposure to lots of different parts of SEO and landing up in tech SEO at the moment. Do you have a favorite part of SEO that you found, this is my niche, this is what I like, or do you like it all?
I do prefer tech SEO, and it's not because I'm working with tech SEO. It's just, it makes sense to me. Like with, let's say, link building or reputation building or whatever you want to call it, I just don't have the patience to go out there and ask everyone for a link or to do these relationships long term to get a link here and there. And some people just love talking with people and building these relationships. So for me, tech SEO, it's like I have to do this. And if I do this correctly, then it's not that I'm checking or I'm doing a checklist or something like that. It's just, it makes sense to me. There are the guidelines, we do those, and we expect to see more traffic. So it's my favorite part for sure. But I think I worked in multiple parts of SEO. I think I worked on them all. On maybe not local SEO, but it's in the near future because
Nice.
I just got a consultant gig that it's a local dentist and we'll have to do local SEO. So it's going to be something new for me to learn.
Nice.
Good luck. That's fun. Lots of work. Just actually building off of that, I was dying to ask this question, which was coming from being in a tech SEO position, generally speaking, communication is more of a topic that tech SEOs have to sort of refine and work on, especially when they're in such a specific niche. You went with that and then also decided to start the SEO game show. How did that start? And how have you found that the SEO game show helps supplement or provide you with skill sets for your current role and or vice versa?
So the SEO game show was something that came out of nowhere. I went to Brighton SEO to speak in October last year, and I met Gus Peloggia there, and we started talking, and we were like, "Yeah, you have this really nice project at Indeed. I have this really nice project at Stylight. We should like exchange information." So we did that, not sharing company information, anything like that, but strategies. his was how to create better interlinking, and mine was to create better indexation. So we kept talking, and he mentioned something like, we should have a project together. And I kept that in the back of my mind. And those shower ideas, I had one. I was like, there's a Brazilian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that the host is a really charismatic guy. And I thought, why don't we do something like that, but with only SEO questions? And then I was like debating with myself in the shower, and I was like, but then people don't want to look like fools if they don't get anything in return, and we cannot pay $1 million, right?
Yeah.
So if they do it for charity, maybe they will look good and they will share SEO knowledge, and we also do something, because to be honest, we are in a position of privilege that we are. I'm not really religious, but I like to say blessed, because we are very lucky. So I thought, yeah, SEO, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and charity. It's a great idea. So when I sent him an audio, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And we actually spend more money than we get in donations, because we have the streaming platform, we have to do editing, and it's a very fun project. We get to talk with amazing people, and also I learn about a lot of really interesting charities. Every guest brings a new charity that they would like to help if they win, and it's amazing to see how each and every life is impacted differently and how these charities help. So it's really cool.
That's amazing. I love that. I love shower ideas as well. They're always going to start somewhere. And how have you found that that's helped with your personal branding? Is that something that you consider taking quite importantly as an SEO? And yeah, what's your experience been just trying to build that up?
It really helps with networking, because you're not approaching with nothing to give, and also it's something that's really interesting for them, because everyone likes a little bit of a challenge, and if they have something to get in return, maybe helping a charity that they like, or just for the fun of the game, they are already in. So I get to talk with people that I think I would never have the opportunity to talk to, like Aleda Solis, Morty from Wix, and people that I have also the opportunity to spend more time with. That with the game, we keep talking between each question, and it's just so fun to see how people are excited, and they get. You see that in the I don't know if you watched all episodes, but everyone starts a little bit slow, and then in the end they are all on fire and happy. So I really like that. And for personal branding, it's networking also, to be out there and show some SEO knowledge. I think the chat between questions really helps to show the knowledge of the guest, because we're usually talking about something that they know, and they also give an extra hint, an extra strategy that the question is not asking, but people like to expand on those topics.
How have you, I mean, starting from within the industry about 15 years ago to now, seen sort of just experienced the evolution of utilizing personal branding, especially with LinkedIn becoming, it's always been popular, but becoming more popular, more webinars happening, more YouTube videos, more online networking versus when you were first initially in the industry a few years ago?
I think it changed a lot, because it's now much easier to do. Like going live before, back in the day, was just impossible. You had to create all this infrastructure and pay a lot of money, and now it's literally, I don't know, $5 per month, or not even that. You just go live for free on YouTube. And it really helps you, because it shows people that you know what you're talking about, of course, if you know what you're talking about. And it shows that sometimes you can present yourself. I think HR people really take that into consideration, that let's say in the future you become a leader in your department, and you need to do a presentation to 100 people. Can you do that? Can you not do that? It helps you to get promotions. It helps you to show that you can control yourself in complicated situations. I had a webinar that we had live interactions with comments, and we had one person that was they kept on challenging our reviews, not mine only, but everyone's that was participating. And I think when you are able to control yourself in those situations, it really helps to show yourself as a calm and collected person. So also, just to finish on this topic, when you're out there, you're already appraised by people, because most people, I think it's the number one afraid of the general population is to talk in public. So just to go out there, talk in conferences or do live webinars or recorded webinars, it's already really good for you, because you already detach yourself from the vast majority of people.
Yeah, love that. I love that. Robin, you have a question?
When you were explaining a little bit about the game show, I just kept thinking, this is so fun, but also educational at the same time. You can learn a lot from people and just, like you said, get some great tips. I also saw with your prior experience, you were an SEO teacher for a little bit. Is that something that you are passionate about, teaching, sharing knowledge and all those things?
Yeah. I taught SEO, that's the verb.
Yeah.
So I'm no native. I was born in Brazil, there for 27 years, so forgive my English. But yeah, I taught for 2 years, and it was really interesting because to teach, you have to consolidate all your thoughts into either a presentation or a structure. And then sometimes you realize that you don't really know about a specific topic, or students come with questions that you didn't expect. So I really like that. It's a lot of hard work. Sometimes we don't even value and realize how much teachers work, but it's really interesting and something that, as leaders in a company, or not even leaders, you don't need to be a leader to do that. We have to do more as SEOs to teach inside our own departments or teach inside our own companies. What's that thing that you're working on, how you can benefit from that. So it's an exercise really interesting for everyone to try to do something like share a little bit of knowledge in a structured way.
Absolutely. I think for anyone either in management or wanting to go into management, it's a crucial skill to be able to teach someone how to do something in a way that they would genuinely understand and do it, rather than to just tell them how you would do it, and then say, just do it like this. So teaching concepts and ideas, especially in a technical field, is so, so important. So I think everyone should go and get some sort of teaching experience. But yeah.
I've got a question from Anas that I want to pull up because he actually asked a very good one. He said, how do you foresee the role of AI in SEO leadership evolving? Any tips to stay ahead of the curve?
That's a great question. And I think
It is.
no webinar will be finished without saying AI.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a good one, because I think AI can be, if we break it down, we have the machine learning part, and that's how we can break it down to actually go to the teaching mode. So if we, as SEO leaders, we start breaking things down in a way that we can teach a machine, we can also teach a person. So if we're thinking about prompts, let's say you're going to talk with ChatGPT and you're going to ask about something, you have to separate every little part of your demand of your question, right? If you do the same thing with your employee, what questions do they come with? So, and if you get these questions from your employee and you improve your prompt to AI, how better does it become? So I think that's the way of one side feeding the other, and at the end you have a better outcome in general. Also,
Awesome.
you can, I think on ChatGPT, you can set some of the settings, some of the configurations to say you are XYZ. So you can say you are teaching a new employee, create a list of things that they need to learn on the first day, things that they need to learn in the first week, first month, first semester. And from there, you can also always adapt and make it what's relevant for your company, of course. But it's a great start already. So you don't have to start anything from scratch anymore. That's how I would say that the SEO leadership changes a little with AI. But in the end of the day, what I learned in my recent experiences is that you're talking with people when you're a SEO leader a little bit less than you're talking with robots, because you're managing people expectations, people needs, their wants. And when you do that, I don't think AI is there yet to actually replace a SEO leader, because
Mm.
you need to understand that sometimes that person is not really on a good day, and you need to be a little bit easy on them, or that some people actually like a little bit more encouragement, or that they like to be held by their hand and you actually do something with them. So this type of things, I don't really know if AI can replace, but the structure of your work, maybe you can put a little bit of AI in that.
Awesome. Fantastic answer. I actually just wanted to ask, your traveling interested me as well, and we're actually putting together a resource on, SEOs if they're applying to companies overseas, or what are the benefits, what are the cons, what are, things to look out for. What was your experience moving? I forget how many places you moved to, but what was your experience moving overseas, and experiencing different cultures and having to sort of align yourself with, I guess, the way people speak, the rapport you have with people, um, working with teams or managing people? What was your experience like, and how did you sort of achieve alignment with them?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, just that moving sucks. That's the first thing that I'm going to say about this. But you have to be adventurous about it and learn to look at the good things that you see in the new place that you're going to. But like, to me, moving from Brazil to Canada was a completely different work environment. In Brazil, it's very common for you to work until 7 p.m., 8 p.m. And then if you leave at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m., they will be like, oh, you're lazy today. What's going on? Like, you're going for another job interview and things like
Yeah.
that. Whereas in Canada, it's like, it's 5 p.m. and you didn't leave yet, your boss will be like, yeah, turn it off. You finish it tomorrow.
Mm.
But my dog wants to say hi. Um, and then in Canada, I was like, oh, this is really nice, because work-life balance, it's very important. But then I moved to Germany, and it's also a completely different experience, because in Germany, they are more direct, but there are no hurt feelings. So the stereotype is real, that there will be like, yeah, your job sucks, let's go have a beer. So you'll be like, but yeah, so I wouldn't be, if someone listening wants to go abroad and try a new country or a new company, don't be too hard on yourself in the beginning, and always be open to ask questions, because sometimes things are just different and you just don't know them. So like, I
Mm.
would recommend to do it, even though the whole process of moving, getting the documentation and blah blah blah, everything is really difficult. But after you've done it, it really pays off, I think, to have this type of different experiences. And also, it's funny that I had totally different expectations moving to Germany, the way that they would do SEO, and I was really surprised about how they were very advanced in technical stuff, like crawling, indexing, and reporting, that I truly didn't expect. And I think here in North America, people rely more on tools to do that. And in Germany, it's very common to do that internally in the company. So
Wow.
I think that that's one interesting difference.
And I think just also quickly on that, if I could flip that over to if there are any team leads that are listening to this webinar, do you have any advice to them on how to sort of be more welcoming with um, people that are SEOs that are moving from across the country or across the world to come join their team and help them feel more welcome and onboarded properly into the team?
Yeah, that's really important. And that's a great question because when I was in Germany, we hired a guy from Iran and he was a great SEO, but there are a lot of cultural differences. So it's not that they're good or bad, it's just people expect something different from different situations.
Yeah.
So what can you do is to step back from being a professional and trying to be a little bit more of a person talking to a person and ask questions like with no prejudice. And you ask, what would you expect from this situation? Let's say if I have a review with you and something is not going the way we expected, if I tell it straight to your face, how would you react? And then you listen. After you listen, you adapt. You have to be flexible. We worked also with a person from Turkey, and he told me that in Turkey, the color signs are different. So red usually means stop, green usually means go ahead. But
Yeah.
he told me that for the Turkish market, it was different. And I was like, okay, I didn't know that. Interesting. But please, on our presentations, keep it on the traffic light standard, please, because otherwise it gets confusing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the way to go is ask questions and listen to the answers and try to be flexible.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well,
Yeah, I'm sure your sort of traveling and moving and integrating into different cultures has really given you like the leg up in terms of managing different types of people because, you know, handling different personalities, I think you've got that nailed down. But I think the last question that I wanted to ask you was you started SEO a long time ago, and you mentioned, you know, starting and working for free and really building yourself up in your SEO capabilities. And I wanted to ask, did you ever encounter imposter syndrome in your journey? And how did you overcome it? And if there are SEOs who are just starting out, it can be quite a humbling experience. So, do you have any tips for them to keep going?
Yeah, I think imposter syndrome always hits me one day before interviews. So I'm like, maybe I shouldn't ask that much. Maybe I shouldn't go for that job yet. I'm not ready. But um, I think that the idea here is for you to believe in yourself and to work hard on the things that you want to achieve in life. When I went to speak at Brighton, it was my first English speaking event.
wow.
And on that day specifically, I got super anxious, super nervous, and I started eating a lot. And then when I went to the stage, I was thinking, oh my god, I'm so fat, and these clothes, I don't like them. Uh, and then I went to the stage, and I saw that bright light, and I thought to myself, really, I think if you watch the video, you see that I paused for a second because I thought I would pass out. But then,
Shame on
um, yeah, it's one of those seconds that time stops, right?
Mhm.
But then I remember that the Brighton SEO team, they were really great on sharing tips and things for you to remember. And one thing that they shared was everyone in the audience wants you to succeed because first, they don't want to waste their time. And second, they want to learn something. So do your best, have fun, and go out there. So if you're having imposter syndrome, it's really hard to say, yeah, I don't have it. But yeah, um, try your best, have fun, and also something that is a really different generation after generation is that sometimes I see younger people that they are really rushing into things. They want to become a manager after 1 year in the company, and things come with time. So take your time and believe that things will come with time if you keep working hard.
Awesome.
Absolutely. I think in a space where things are changing so quickly and changing all the time, people sometimes forget to just take a step back and look at the bigger picture and just take your time and enjoy where you are in your career at the moment, and like don't just chase the next thing. Actually enjoy where you are. So that's amazing advice.
One last question before we wrap up, which just bringing it back to the SEO game show. Do you have any, what's next? Do you have any exciting news that you can tell us about it, or tell us what's in the pipelines or anything like that, so you can just direct some SEOs through to you? And yeah.
Yeah, for the SEO game show, I think I'm sharing this first time here, is that at the end of each season, we are trying to get everyone that participated in that season and making them compete against themselves live. So, and I think that's really fun to see that people are willing to do the challenge and they are all open to the opportunity. And it's really fun to see their answers. They are like, "This is crazy. I'm in." So
I love that.
we'll do that. And also, we're thinking of doing it also in companies. So because after we finish every show, we stop recording, but we keep talking with the person, right? And one of them said, I want to have my marketing team to do the SEO game show, like a light version, easy version, but everyone together, and then we give a prize internally. But it would be nice to have Paulo and Gus to be the hosts, because it's like the experience we have and everything. And we were like, that's fun. Like, imagine every
Yeah.
SEO department, every marketing department with a live show like that. So we might be expanding that direction as well. But I was super happy to see these opportunities that came with the second season. And the next season will be in Portuguese again. So the third season in Portuguese, and then the fourth season will be in English again. So again, we don't make money out of this. It's just we have fun and we'll keep doing it.
No, it's exciting to see such unique approaches to the industry and how to sort of liven it up and freshen it up. So, yeah, kudos to you and the team for just making it happen. And yeah, I think that wraps us up. Time actually flew so fast on this episode. So, Paulo, thank you so much. It was such a fun episode, and we really appreciated your insights. And yeah, you will be up on YouTube very shortly, within the next week. And everyone who is watching, please go follow Paulo for more of his updates on LinkedIn. And we'll see you soon, Paulo. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Bye.